Hello doll people, my name is Vinya and you're watching Like and Board Dolls. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. Today I've got this lovely ball jointed doll head by Black Cherry Dolls. The sculpt name is XiaoYu. I hope I am not butchering that name. And we will be painting her. Now if you're wanting to buy this doll, you need to know that only the head is available from the company, and you would need to source a body from a different company. But they do recommend one body that has a very similar color resin, and but I have heard that there are other bodies that work very well with this head as well. So the one that they do recommend is the Dollstown Elf body, but I have heard that the Feeple60 and the FID size bodies also work very well with it. So it all just depends if you want a more childlike body, if you want a more softer, curvaceous body, or if you want a more athletic look. So these are your options, and we're going to start painting her. So sealant first. Now, while looking on social media and also on Black Cherry Dolls website for ideas for face-ups for this doll, I did notice that a lot of people tend to give her a more childlike look, like these pictures I got from the website. And I wanted to give her a different look, a little bit more mature. So we're starting with some eyebrows, and it's quite funny how I have heard that if you're an artist, when you draw, you tend to copy your own nose. I have not noticed that with myself. Maybe I do. I don't know. I'm not very fond of my nose. But I have noticed that I do tend to draw my own eyebrows. It's very interesting. So I'm trying to veer away from that and do something a little different than I usually do. So I'm going to give her more impressive eyebrows this time, and have them have a kind of presence on her face. So they won't be very big, but they will be a little bit different than my usual style. So what I'm doing here is I'm just marking out where I want to place the eyebrows with some soft pastels, and then drawing a few hairs so long with the watercolor pencil in a brown. The eyebrows will not stay brown, but I am just marking them out so long, and it gives a little bit of depth if there's more than one, just one color. Remember to use sealant layers every time you want to add more color. Remember, the resin can only take so much color at a time. The soft pastels is a powder and it will only take so much color, and then you need to do a layer of sealant and add more color if you want to make the color deeper. So do layers of sealant. I am not showing every time I do it on camera, so most of my sealant layers is done off camera. But after the brown, I did do a layer of sealant, and then added some of the black and in soft pastels, as well as the watercolor pencil. I'm giving her some eyelashes and making sure that my pencil is super sharp. If you're doing eyelashes and you're also doing eye creases, you need your pencil to be very sharp to give you the nice fine details. Once again, I'm doing brown first, just to map out where I want the eyelashes to be and also give them some depth. Then afterwards I will go over with black. Once again, I'm using layers of sealant as I'm adding more color. I'm not sure if there are soft pastels that have more color, but mine sure doesn't. It has quite a good color. It does give nice color, but sometimes it just doesn't seem like it's enough, especially if you want to do dark smoky look or that kind of thing. Then you do need to do layers of sealant in between, add more color, that kind of thing. Now I'm giving her some shading on her face with soft pastels. You'll notice me testing the color on the dent on the underside of her head where her neck would go in. Of course, that won't be visible, and I need to test the color somewhere. Usually I would test it on the inside of my wrist, but we've just gone through summer and I'm a little bit tan now and not quite the same shade as she is. She's very pale. When I first started doing face-ups, I did do the shading and blusher first, and then I drew the eyebrows and eyelashes. I'm not sure if other people do this as well, but I have noticed that this is a little bit of a problem, especially if you have made a mistake with the eyebrows or eyelashes, and that's where I tend to make the most mistakes and need to redo. So if you've done your shading and blusher or just shading, then taking off eyebrows is a bit of a problem because you can't just take off eyebrows or just take off eyelashes. It will leave a very smooth patch of skin that isn't shaded, and that is a bigger problem. So just to prevent yourself from having to wipe the whole face every single time you make a mistake, and we all do, every single artist makes mistakes, so that just gives you a little bit of the upper hand here. If you do the eyebrows and lashes first, then at least if you make a mistake, then it's not such a big problem having to remove it. So I do the eyebrows first, and then if I'm happy with those, I do the eyelashes, and if I'm happy with those, then I'll go on to shade. do a layer of sealant and then start shading. Then at least you know if something with the shading isn't right, then at least your eyebrows and lashes are sealed in tight and they're not going anywhere. So then you can remove whatever shading you're not happy with and start over. So that, yeah, just prevents you from having to wipe things that you are happy with and you don't want to remove. So I'm trying something a little bit different with the lips this time. Usually I would paint the lips with some acrylic paint, but I'm trying something a little different. Just, what's the point of art if we don't ever go out of our comfort zone and try something new? So it's not that I'm not happy with the acrylic paint. I really am. It's fine. It takes a little bit of effort to mix the color just to get the shade right. So at the moment, I don't want her to have any particular shade of lip. I want her just to have some nice, soft, natural pink lips. So not pink as in you put lipstick on kind of pink. I want her just to have a natural pink lip. And so I'm trying something a little bit new for me. So I'm using watercolor pencils on her lips and drawing out the shape of where I want it to be, because I know these dolls have a molded shape already, but you can make the lips bigger or smaller if you want to, just by adding paint or not adding paint in certain areas. So I'm following a line that seems natural to me on her face, and something that I think would look good. So what I'm doing here is I'm drawing out the shape that I want her lips to be in watercolor pencil, and then I gave her some soft lines lip lines, like creases, with the watercolor pencil. And I'm going to be giving her lip shade in some soft pastels. Now, the pastels that I'm using are not in powder form. I know it looks like it if you look at my painter's palette there, but they are in the normal little brick things, and I'm just scraping some off with a Stanley knife or X-Acto blade, or whatever people want to call them. Just scraping a little bit off with the blade, and it comes off in powder, and then I mix my colors like that. After adding her last layer of sealant, it's time for some gloss. I'm using the Tamiya clear gloss, even though I don't think it says gloss on the bottle. In the description, I will give you a list of all the products I use for the face-ups, even though there are a lot of different products, but I will be giving you a list of the products I used in this video, as well as a few links to some videos I found on YouTube that show off the bodies that would work well with this head quite nicely. Remember to stir your gloss very well, just to make sure that all the ingredients are mixed well together. Otherwise, if it's not stirred properly, then you might end up with some gloss that doesn't cure properly also. And only use the paintbrush for gloss. Don't use it for other things as well, because color can transfer over to the hairs of your paintbrush, and then you end up with colors that you don't want in places you don't want it. Now, if you did enjoy the video, please consider pressing the like button and the little bell, just so you can be notified next time I upload a video. And leave me a comment to let me know what you think of it. Remember, things like likes and comments and shares are very inspiring to an artist, and I might just be inspired enough to give you a full custom on a playline doll next. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!